Right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about John Petrucci. I'm going to talk specifically about, I'm going to break down one of his licks. And this is the lick to the openings, to the solo, the opening lick to the solo of Fatal Tragedy, which is found on the album Metropolis Part 2, Scenes of a Memory. It's a really, really amazing John Petrucci lick from his mid-period where he really pushed the boundaries of alternate picking, very clean alternate picking. So and I also, by the way, did a cover of it recently, which you'll find the link below for that. You'll also find below the link to the tabs for this particular lick. And also, the boring stuff out of the way, please subscribe to my page. I'll be putting more and more content going forward. Now, what I propose we do first, we have a look at the lick played fast and then at half speed, and then we'll come back and talk about the specific lick. Now we've just seen the lick played at full speed and also at half speed, so you can practice along to that. But before you do that, let's maybe break down the lick so you can understand where John Petrucci is coming from and what he's actually playing over that particular passage. So the whole lick is actually based around E Aeolian, which is E natural minor scale, and he's following a particular pattern of picking and fretting throughout the whole lick. So I'm going to break it down for you. Obviously the tab is there also in the link, but let's have a breakdown of the lick to look at where the trouble spots are for you when you practice this lick. So we begin on the 7th fret of A, so which is effectively your E note. We are in standard tuning, and we're going from the A into the D string 4 5 7 5 4. That's the first passage. Then we head back into that A string onto the 7th fret, and we're going to do the exact same thing, but this time we're going to go onto the G string going 4 5 7 5 4. So we're going to go. We play that for an entire bar. So these are 6 top plays, so 6 notes per beat. So when you're playing this to a metronome, make sure every time you hit back that note, which is your root note, the E note here, you're hitting back on the click. Then from here, we're playing that again 2 more times into the next bar. Then comes the first trouble spot here, which is where you're going to have to stretch your pinky into the 9th fret of D, which is effectively the 5th of the E here, which is a B. And we're going to be playing here 9th fret of D, then we're going to go 5 7 9 7 5 on the G. Okay, now we're going to go back to the 9th fret of D, and then we're going to this time jump to the B string. So every time we skip a string. And this time we're going to go 5 7 8 7 5 on the B. Okay, so far what do we have? Okay, now at that point, we're going to now jump up to the 9th fret of G, which is effectively again hitting the E note. We're back to the octave, so we jumped up an octave at this point from where we started off at the beginning of the lick. And we're going to go 9th of G, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7 on the B. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the 9th of G, and we're going to go 7, 8, 10, 8, 7 on the E. So what do we have here? And then we're going to repeat back from the 9th of G into the B. Now comes the next trouble spot where we effectively have to put our second finger on the 9th, and you'll see in a minute why, because we're going to have to jump up from here to the 8th fret of E. So let me show you that. So what we're doing is 9 of G, 8, 10, 12, 10, 8 on the E. So this is a little jump you're going to have to do. If I play that correctly. And then, yeah, so you only do that once, then you're back into your 9th fret of G, and then 7, 8, 10, 8, 7 on the B. And then comes the last portion of this solo, of this lick, where we jump up to the 15th. So this is another trouble spot. So I suggest when you're practicing these, try to work through the changes as well so that you can really hit the right note. So as an example, we're going to have to go up to the 15th of B here. So just play your last note, which is your 7th of B, and practice going into that 15th of B. So what happens here on the 15th of E? We're going 15th of B, 12th of E, 14th of E, 15th of E, 14th of E, 12th of E. Then we got another clamp. So we only play that once. So we're moving up the neck now very quickly. We're on the 17th of B, 14th of E, 15th of E, 17th of E, 15th of E, and 14th of E. And then the last group of 6 tuplets where we're on the 19th of B, 15, 17, 19, 17, 15 on the E. And that is the entire lick. Now, I want to give you a little pointer as well. If you listen to a lot of the mid-era Dream Theater, these are the very common licks John Petrucci played around that time. Now, I'm not sure whether he did it on this album, but I'm pretty certain he did it on Train of Thought, where there's some incredibly fast runs, where he started introducing what he calls his hybrid technique, which is not pick and finger that we used to see to hear. The idea with the hybrid picking in here is that you pick the ascending notes, and the descending notes you play them legato. Let me give you an example on that first phrase. So the first phrase went 7 A 4 5 7 5 4 on the D. Now this is one approach that John Petrucci could take, and probably does quite often on other stuff, and especially on Train of Thought. So what we're doing here is I'm picking those first 1, 2, 3, 4 notes, and the next 3 notes coming back, I'm actually pulling them off. Now that will turbocharge your playing, because suddenly you're gonna have a lot more, a lot more energy to play lots more notes, because you sort of, not picking every note, so you're not getting that friction with the strings. So experiment with that technique as well. It's a fairly useful technique to use when you want to go very, very, very fast. The only problem with that technique, you got to have very good legato playing, and you are going to lose some of your sort of more precise element of alternate picking. But at that kind of speed, does it really matter anymore? Okay, so that was it for this lick. I hope you have fun learning this. Take your time on this. Start very slow. I showed one of the earlier video I showed it was at 6. We were half speed, which is about 75 or something. If you need to go slower than that, go slower. Take your time on it. Build up in increments of 5. So once let's say you start at 60, then try 60 for a few days, and get up to 65. Make sure you're hitting the right changes. Work on those little changes, and then see how it goes. Anyway, I'll come back for some other licks in the future. Until then, stay safe and stay metal.